Hi, so this is another live Thursday. I actually took a 2 week break, much needed. So today I'm going to be doing a follow up with an awesome actor and creator. Hey, and his name is Mr. Patrick Ladonis. How you doing? And he's going to be logging on with me, and he has an awesome web series entitled Scales. So he and I are going to be chatting it up, and we also have a few things in common. So he'll be on in a few seconds. But as I was mentioning, I took a much needed break. So the conversations from the throne, I was not doing it for about 2 weeks. I definitely needed a break. And it was awesome. And I worked on some exciting things, which I'll be announcing over the next few days. And Patrick is in, so before he logs in, I just want to tell you guys, of course, as I always mention, these conversations from the throne, they're available on my IG page, and you can also find them on YouTube. I normally load them about a day or two later. And also, this particular episode is the episode number 38, if you want to go back and listen to the chat between Patrick and I. So we're going to be chatting it up. He has an awesome web series entitled Scales, and his new season is going to be starting soon. So he and I will be talking about that, and we'll be chatting up a few things creative. So I'm about to log him in right now. So give me 1 second. And you guys be patient with me because, as I always mention, I'm pretty new about just this whole live thing. So just give me a second to add him in. Which detective? The one that lost her arm? Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I wore this for you.
I see that. I love it. I love it. You know I love Issa Rae. Just put a huge smile on my face. So how you been doing?
I've been well. I'm doing well. What about you? How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm holding up, hanging in there. So I definitely want to dive in and start talking to you about scales. I let in for everyone that's logged in and let them know about your awesome web series. And as we were talking in the previous podcast, I know you were diving into season 3. So give us all some information about season 3. But matter of fact, for everyone that's new to just learning about scales, let's start off from the beginning. So just give everyone the background on scales, how you came up with it, and the amazing characters, Remy. So just give everyone who hasn't seen scales, just give them the whole breakdown of the show.
Sure. Scales is about a complicated guy, Remy Howard, that's played by me, who is
Mm-hmm.
drawn to complicated people and relationships. And the people around him are also seeking balance. Hence, the show is called Scales.
Mm-hmm.
It was created in 2017, back in August. As I shared this story, I believe, about being in Barcelona during the terrorist attack and being impacted by that and just wanting to tell stories, which
Mm-hmm.
led to me creating Scales. And then season one came out in June of 2018. I can't believe it's been 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty much your typical, your pilot, your first season. I wanted to keep the short form content, really
Mm-hmm.
following our girl Issa's
Yeah.
method with having short form content. Each episode was
Mm-hmm.
about 7, 8 minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
then after season one, I had a premiere and we had about 300, 400 people come to the premiere. And all of the feedback was like, we really love the show. We want it to be longer. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
you want to give your audience what they want. So then season two, we went a little bit longer. Each episode was about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, what scales represent is everyone's in real life, everyone's trying to balance something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real life. It's people dealing with everyday stuff.
Right.
And even though we don't like to admit it, we all have some form of drama in our
Oh yeah.
lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Scales is. Scales is the real life drama, not reality TV, but just crazy dramedy type of things that's happening with these characters.
Right. So with scales, what made you decide like this from the beginning? So I know like obviously you and I have the Issa fixation, and as we talked about Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, that's when I first, dug into her, and like you said, the whole short form of web series. So, did you have any thoughts prior to seeing it? I know, like, she's an inspiration for you. Did you have any thoughts prior to Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl, and to just, saying, hey, I want to create my own show? Like, was that anything that you had in your mind prior to that, or was that like the true inspiration?
No, I knew I wanted to create my own show. But back in early 2017, I participated in the AT&T 48-hour film competition. It's where
Mm-hmm.
you write something and shoot it within 48 hours using AT&T phone. And I wrote this script with four other strangers. We filmed it and we actually won.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we won, to me, that was kind of like the jolt to my energy to say, you know what, I still got it. I can still
Mm-hmm.
write. And I used to do this
Right.
in college. I was like the little Spike Lee on campus. I was shooting
Mm-hmm.
films on campus. I shot a horror film, had a premiere on campus, all of
Wow.
this craziness. And so when I made the decision to really step out there as a content creator and have a full-fledged web series, I needed sort of like a model to look up to, or to see which approach to take. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it was Issa Rae. Insecure had just I think Insecure was probably like in season one, maybe, or just in season two. And
Mm-hmm.
I started Googling everything about her, and I was like, this is what I want. And so I started reading anything I could find on Issa Rae. I was looking into it, and then watching Awkwardly Black Girl to see the short form content. And so
Mm-hmm.
as I was writing more of Scales, I said, oh, I don't want this to be no more than 10 pages per episode. So that way it will be under the 10 minutes. And again, season one was definitely the short form content. And she said, you let the audience sort of tell you in a way how whether to go longer or shorter. And I let the audience do that. And that's why season two was a little bit longer.
It is so funny you said that because, of course, everyone that watches Insecure, the big thing, people always pressure her to have the show actually be an hour. And so, like, I noticed that the compromise for the last season was instead of like 8 episodes, it was 10. Even I personally feel like they need to keep it 30 minutes only because I feel like I don't want it to like lose, its luster. And I want the show to last as long as possible. So it's just funny that you mentioned that they wanted more, but of course that's a good thing. That means people are really engaged, obviously. So let's talk about how you came about Scales. So as far as organizing everything, how did you come up with your cast? Did you do auditions, or did you have like a group of friends? Because I know Issa's big on saying how like she likes to utilize people that she already knows, when she first started out. So did you have a group of active friends, lined up in mind, or did you have to go out and seek a cast?
And that's the beauty of Scales to me, is that I didn't know I didn't have friends that were in the creative space. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone that I've gotten to know through the actors and the crew that's behind Scales, we were all virtual strangers
Oh wow.
until this project brought us together. And now we are like a family. And it's like we created our own tribe. She says you find that tribe. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of go out and find that tribe. I was kind of working on a project with Shirley, who is our director. We were in a
Mm-hmm.
play together, and then I told her what I was doing, and I was like, hey, do you want to be in it? She was like, yeah, sure, da da da. And then it's like I started with her, then I reached out to Production Hub, got with Zane. Zane had another friend who had a camera, met with him, and then we just started bringing in these people that wanted to be a part of the project, and we became this big sort of like Scales family. Like even the actors, none of us really knew each other. We had to sort of
Mm-hmm.
get to know each other.
Ah, I see. So for everyone that's new, and of course we're gonna before everything is over, we're gonna make sure we tell everyone how to watch the show. Can you break down the characters? Now, of course, as you mentioned, you play Remy. So can you break down like the main cast and just give everyone like some detailed descriptions regarding them?
Sure. You have David Ramos. He is Remy's best friend. He's the owner of the sweatshop.
Mm-hmm.
David is also, which you saw in season one, he sort of grew up in foster care. He and his sister Jade. He tends to kind of have that love him and leave him type of personality. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
not trying to get too invested in any relationship or nothing. So he kind of found himself in a sticky situation in season two.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Ron Campbell, who is a tech guy. Ron's backstory: he's been single for about 2 years. His partner died. in a car accident. And so he's trying to discover dating again. And he coincidentally runs into Remy, which is probably the worst thing to happen. And then you have the Keller family, which again, they're connected to Remy. You have Gloria Keller, you have Dakota Keller, and Kevin Keller. Remy obviously was in a relationship with Kevin Keller, who has a substance abuse problem, who is subsequently in and out of rehab. But Remy is drawn to the Keller family just because there's something he needs in a way. And then you have Sheila and Kim. Sheila's connected to Remy because Sheila used to date Gavin, one of Remy's other best friends, and they broke up in season 2 because of bad advice given from Remy and just bad advice in their relationship altogether, which not because of Remy. And then who am I missing? Then you have, of course, you have Troy Vega. She works with Remy, but she's also Remy's like she's his work BFF and his after work BFF too. You'll see a lot more of that in season 3. And then you have Drew. Drew is actually runs kinda X, but they all work together at Libra. And I don't think I'm missing any of the main characters. And then you'll get to see some new characters in seasons 3, Matt and Faith. But yeah, those are like your core people. It's usually the show was built on the premise of just Remy, Gavin, and David, and then of course in season 3 it's Remy and David because Gavin left in season 2 to take the job out of state. But I have a feeling Gavin's gonna be coming back.
Okay, so when does season 3 premiere? And I know like there's some changes. I know the show originally started on YouTube, and as we discussed, there's the new station. So give everyone the information about that station, and also when does season 3 premiere?
Okay, so season 3 is definitely going to premiere on ReveryTV.com. It's a global streaming platform. You can actually go onto ReveryTV.com and watch a lot of programming for free. Okay. But it's going to come out in early 2021 on Reverie. Okay. And I'm thinking I'm going to do some kind of special premiere before 2021. I'm just trying to navigate through COVID and everything, and if I want to do a virtual premiere of the show or if I want to do something actually in Atlanta with smaller settings or something.
Well, virtual premieres I think are the hot thing now. So
yeah, I just got to get the right platform because I've been on some, it's like you get on some and it's not starting right or too many people are on, it's moving slow. I just want it to be seamless. I want something that's going to give us a seamless process.
Right. So I know like with the whole COVID thing, I think everyone was initially in shock, and I think we touched on that with the podcast episode. What's been your creative process? I know we talked about just how to stay creative and stay determined with everything going on. So what do you think is like your creative process so that you don't fall into a slump, you don't fall into a writer's block or anything? What's your general creative process to stay fresh?
My method is I try to write something every single day. And then 2, I'm excited about like for Scales, I know how Scales is gonna end. Like that's something I picked up from Shonda Rhimes. Like she knew how Scandal was gonna end, and I took that piece of advice. So I know how the show is gonna end, and because I know how the show is gonna end, I'm excited to write things for the show every day because I'm like, oh, we're getting closer and closer to how Remy's gonna be and how David's gonna be, how Sheila, everything. So I'm writing a little bit every day, so that gives me excitement because I know that I'm not there yet. And then 2, I as a hardcore creative, I'm constantly thinking of new ideas and things to write down. And then 2, I'm developing the spinoff, Spades. Single people are dating everybody stupid. So that's gonna be coming. So I'm writing that too. So it's like I'm working on 2 projects at the same time. So it's keeping me busy. Like I haven't hit a writer's block yet.
Right. So for everyone that's watching that didn't listen to the podcast episode between you and I, that's a shameless plug for them to go back and listen to it. Give everyone your starting point where we discussed it, where you did a small role in The Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson. I know everyone's seen it. So give everyone the breakdown, how you got discovered in the DMV line. That's for all the people that hasn't listened yet.
Sure. So I literally was about to do a Golden Girls moment and say, picture it, 1995. But I was in the DMV line when this white guy with a long ponytail taps me on the shoulder. Who I didn't know who he was, but it was the late Joel Schumacher, the director of
Mhm.
the film. He says,
Mhm.
"Hey kid, would you like to be in this movie?" And I kind of looked at him like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, okay." So I get out of the DMV line, go over across the street to the casting's office,
Mhm.
and he introduces me to the casting assistant, who I think I shared with you too. The casting
Yeah.
assistant was Octavia Spencer, who
Mhm.
has now is an Academy Award winning Octavia Spencer.
Right.
And I got a chance to play this role, the militant teenager, and I was a part of the filmmaking process for this movie for about 3.5 months. And even when I wasn't filming, he allowed me to come on set on weekends. So I came on set and got to see every single thing happening, seeing Sandra Bullock, Samuel L.
Mhm.
Jackson, Kiefer and Donald Sutherland, Ashley Judd, and this was Matthew McConaughey's breakout role. Like this
Right.
was him he was like 25, 26 at the time, just
Mhm.
getting his big break. And
Right.
it was like on the job training and learning on how to treat people and just understanding the industry from a up close and personal point of view, and just how the director treated everyone too. All of that were little gems that I kept with me.
That's amazing. And actually, the movie was on, I can't remember what station, like 2 weeks ago. So, of course, I remember what you mentioned about Octavia Spencer, and I saw her cameo. Like, she was like
She
a
was a
nurse.
nurse. She was a
Yeah, I don't even
nurse.
think she had a line, but I was like, oh my God.
Yep.
So I thought that was so funny. And like I said, I had no idea. I never really researched her background, so I had no idea she was a casting director or she worked with the casting. And then too, when you mentioned that Joel Schumacher had passed away, like I have like the people alerts, like people.com alerts that pops up on my computer. So when you mentioned it, I was like, wow, I missed that. Because like they're like really big on saying things like that.
Hmm.
So when I Googled it afterwards, I was like, oh wow, But I remember seeing that movie actually, I think it was my first year at UNO, and I was really big on seeing particular movies at the time. So I remember when I watched it, and of course Matthew McConaughey was like the hot thing at the time, because
Right.
that was like his first breakout role and everything. So I just thought that was so ironic because when I first got your information and I'm reading, then I did a double take. I'm like, wait, I remember the scenes he was in because I watched that movie so many times. So I
Hmm.
thought that was so funny. So I know, like we barrel back, and you said that you're also working on your new project, Spade. So what inspired you to write that? And dating is really ridiculous right now. So what inspired you to write that?
Well, I wanted to write something for, to when I look at Scales demographics, it's just kind of like, I won't say it's an older show, but
Mm-hmm.
the analytics from YouTube shows that my highest numbers are those at like between 30 and 35
Mm-hmm.
demographics. So I was like, let me try to write something that may be a little bit younger, but also something that 30 and older will still get enjoyment from. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, when we were single, and then thinking about how I've heard different friends of mine talk about how hard it is dating, as a female trying to date guys in Atlanta, I said, no one's done a show about what that would look like. And
Mm-hmm.
so I said, I literally was just on my computer typing, and I wrote out spades because I wanted something with the S, like
Mm-hmm.
scales, and then I said spades, and I said spades. What acronym for spades in a comedy? Then I said single people are dating everybody stupid. That's what it is. And then from there, I just started writing out like the characters. And then I thought, who's a 25-year-old or someone in their 20s that would be a great person to kind of lead that show? And I
Mm-hmm.
thought about Samaya, who stars as Kim in
Mm-hmm.
Scales. She's very funny, and just her dating stories that she shared, I was like, she's going to kill it. Give her
Mm-hmm.
two best friends and plop her in this story, and you'll get to see these people go on dates in Atlanta, and the Tinder dates, and
Mm-hmm.
guys asking them to pay for their dinners. And the first episode is extremely funny based on real life bad dates that I've been told that's happened to people, and I think a lot of people will really relate to it. So
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot will. And it's funny because I decided to do a hump day question yesterday on my podcast page, which I've never done before. Because it just dawned on me, I'm like, how is the pandemic going to change dating too? You know, because I know, like, I saw a post the other day, someone was mentioning about kind of encouraging online dating, which I personally won't ever do again. But I just was like, I wonder, like, how is the pandemic just going to change things too? Because I just feel like there's already added stress when you're dating someone. So, like, now I feel like whenever this pandemic dies down and life kind of gets back to normal, like, is that going to be a new thing where we're going to wonder, like, gee, like, have you had COVID before? Like, is that going to be like a new conversation piece? I just feel like we can't win the singles, you know?
Yeah, I think that is gonna. I honestly I think that will be, and it's funny that you say that because in episode 2 of Spades, we
Mm-hmm.
do an episode where one of the characters just it's like COVID has passed and now they're
Mm-hmm.
going out on a date and she's on a date with one of the main characters is on a date with a guy that won't stop coughing
Oh my
and
God.
it's really funny, but it is like that. I think this new normal for us, it's probably going to feel like this. I think even more than a year. I think we won't really be over all of this until maybe 2022, which is very
Yeah,
different for us because we had become a culture like that cancel culture.
right,
COVID said, you ain't canceling us. COVID is
right.
like, you know, so yeah, it's going to be a whole different vibe for us for about the next 2 years or so.
You're right. COVID is definitely the anti-cancel culture because it won't go away. We wish we could cancel it, but it just will
Right.
not go away. So obviously, right now, and I joked too yesterday. I said, "Well, you know, Netflix and Amazon is my new big." So obviously, with the whole pandemic, I think a lot of us have grown bigger relationships with Amazon and Netflix and Hulu. I think more than before. So obviously, you and I have the insecure connection. And I think I went into withdrawals after the season ended, and I was like, okay, what am I going to watch next? So for yourself, are there any particular shows right now, whether past or present, that you binged, you know, just to kill time, or that you reconnected with, or rewatched, or a new show that you never thought of before? Like, name some of the shows that have been keeping you interested.
One show that I binged watch, and I mean, there's a show called Kingdom on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and it stars Nick Jonas, and it's about the MMFA, the cage fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally binged watched. It was what season 1 was 10 episodes, season 2 was 20 episodes, and season 3 was 10 episodes. I binged watched all 40 episodes in like 3 days.
Wow.
It was that good. Like
Oh,
Kingdom
wow.
on Netflix is absolutely amazing. It's
Wow.
amazing. So I would highly recommend watch Kingdom. That
Wow.
hands down Kingdom.
I'm gonna
I
have
can't
to
even
check it
name something
out.
else. It's intense. But if you like the kickbox, I mean the cage boxing and just the struggles that the family deals with and
Mm-hmm.
running this boxing gym, it's literally people slept on the show because the show actually started out off of AT&T Direct TV or something.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I think Netflix acquired the series because it's no longer out. Like the series came out in 2014 and it ran
Mm.
until 2017.
Oh, okay.
But it's really a good show. And when you watch one episode, you're like, oh well, let me watch the second episode. Then you're like, oh well, let me watch the third one. And that's how I was. And before I knew it, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've watched like 7 episodes already. So I mean, it's Kingdom is
Wow.
where it's at. I would definitely say Kingdom.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I tried to watch it, but like I have a short attention span for certain shows. If I'm not familiar with it, I think I like to watch older shows for some reason that I'm familiar with completely. But I think I'll definitely check it out. Like sometimes I'm like, what am I gonna watch? And I finally got a little worn out from watching Insecure because I would pick random seasons after the last one ended and just watch the whole thing all day while I was working. And I'm like, okay, I think I finally need a break. You know.
Off of Insecure.
Yeah, I don't want to get to the point where I don't want to watch it. So I'm like, I need to give myself a break from watching it too much. And then I think I definitely wore out Lovebirds on Netflix with her.
Oh,
And
Lovebirds was good. I enjoyed Lovebirds. I
I
watched it
thought it
like
was
five
so
times.
cute. But I'm
Yeah.
like I said, I'm biased to like stuff that she's in. So I think if it was bad, I probably wouldn't catch
Me
that
too.
it's not good. You know,
Me too.
are there any old shows that you watch? Like I actually started watching. I started binging Designing Women, and I've seen the show obviously before, but I started binging it on Hulu like a few weeks ago. Are there any old shows that oldie but goodies that you decided to watch?
Yeah, I just started watching, and this was probably about a week ago. I've been
Mhm.
watching Living Single a
Okay.
lot because I
Hmm.
enjoyed that show, and I've been watching Martin. I've been watching Catching Martin, and what else? What else? What else was the class? Oh, Family Matters, because I mean
Really?
that was kind of like my whole teenage childhood was
Hmm.
Family Matters. Then Moesha, which is now on Netflix. You can watch
Yeah.
Moesha. So
Hmm.
that's kind of I've been tuning in, catching, and then Girlfriends. That too was just an amazing show. An
Yes.
amazing show.
Girlfriends was definitely my show. I think I was telling someone the other day, I think I subconsciously named my daughter Maya because I was watching the show at the time. And my youngest child was named Noah. And I don't know if you watch Noah's Ark, but
Yes.
at the time, I would like watch Noah's Ark like crazy. And I don't think I realized until maybe a year or so after I had my son, and I'm like, I wonder if I like subconsciously named him Noah because I watched the show so much. And
Right.
I loved it. And I don't know if you know, but they did like a reunion
I
that was
saw it. I saw it.
I
I
just
saw it.
saw it last week. Like, I guess in my COVID cloud, I missed when that came out initially, and I was scrolling through YouTube and came across it, and I was like in heaven, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty good for, and because at first I
Yes.
had my doubts. I was like, oh, how is
Hmm.
this gonna be a Zoom thing? But I was like, I could see this show coming. I would love to see it come back to
Yes.
see these characters and their
Oh yeah.
situations and what happened. So yeah,
Definitely. I mean, I thought the way he wrote it was amazing. Like, it just fit in perfectly with the whole COVID storyline and the Zoom to have those characters together. It was just thrilling to see them back
yeah,
together. You know, I thought it was really cool. And the fact that he had, like, all the original people, you know,
right. That's the part too. I was like, perfect. I love that all of the original people were back in it too. I don't think
right.
it would
Like,
have felt right if there would have been a recast of one like that show. You just can't touch that show like that. So
I know, like, he had everyone. I thought it was great. So, just to get some information. So, of course, like I said, we do have the Issa connection. So, right, and my poster, I really wish I could lean toward it. I'm rooting for everybody black poster, which I love. But so of course the big thing at the end of the last season, which I'm surprised my neighbors didn't think I was having some distress because I literally started screaming when Condola said she was pregnant because they fooled us like 2 episodes, whatever prior. He's like, "Oh, I talked to her, everything's fine." I'm like, "Yes, she's out of the picture." So I'm one of the people that started screaming. I jumped off my sofa, thought I was gonna lose my mind. So so of course you're the creative person. So let's say a fairy came to you and with a magic wand and they gave you control of the next season. So what would you like to see for those characters? How would you write that next season?
that's a good question. I would really, looking at the theme of the show, I would definitely have Condola. I would have Lawrence and Issa together, but
Hmm.
I would actually have Condola on and see how Lawrence balances his rediscovered love for Issa while
Hmm.
still trying to understand being a father to this child that
Hmm.
he didn't want, and then to see, because this season Issa really grew up, just how
She did.
she grew up big time, and how she even dealt with her relationship with her best friend with Molly.
Oh yeah.
So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think it would be interesting to see what that dynamic of that look would look like for those two, because I'm thinking Lawrence is not gonna take the job to go to San Francisco because of this new dynamic.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be some resentment there, and it will be good to see if he allows this situation to make him maybe to see where his growth is, because we
Hmm.
really saw Issa's growth, but we didn't really see Lawrence's growth. Like, will he
Right.
resort back to how he was when he wasn't working? Will he now feel that now that he's got this baby, will he look at that as a mark against him that he's not good enough for Issa, which will cause
Yeah.
her to go to Nathan? So I would explore all of that juiciness and just see how Issa responds to Nathan, and would she go back to her old way, or would she be strong and try to really be this adult and handle the circumstances that they're currently in? And
Right.
then by episode 5, unfortunately, Condola would lose the baby.
See, we're here. I thought it made me like a terrible person, even though these people are not real. But I thought it made me a terrible person that I kept saying, "Well, I hope she has a miscarriage." But then I'm like, "Is something wrong with me that I'm thinking this?" But then I'm like, "They're not real, so this isn't really bad that I'm hoping
Right.
for
It's
a
not
miscarriage because
not
it's
bad at
not
all.
real." You
Right.
know.
It's not real.
But we need her and the baby to vanish. Like, I'm sorry, like
Yes.
like, sorry, like maybe she can trip and fall. I know that's like super mean and nasty, but Issa,
Yeah.
if you ever come across this show and listen to your two favorite people, your two
Right
biggest
here.
fans,
Yes.
we're begging you, you
Right.
and
Don't
Princess.
have. But you know what? What could be really good too, if because
Mhm.
East of them, they like to do that old school throwback. You remember Aaron Hall, I Miss You? Maybe Condola dies and has a baby, and now she and Lawrence have to choose if they're gonna raise this baby together. Like, she could
Ooh,
die. She could, if they were to go all that road, but I could see that would be
we just
interesting to
need
look at.
somebody to go, like either Condola or the baby, both of them.
Both of them, right?
Like, we need one or the other to go.
Yeah,
Do you
for
think
sure.
Issa's mature enough to, like, let's say Condola has his baby, right? Even if she croaks, do you think Issa's mature enough to like deal with the baby on any level?
I don't think so yet, only
Mhm.
because Issa, she was at the peak of about to really with her career. So this would be a full-fledged, now she has to sort of almost slow down for Lawrence, which
Right.
with this baby stuff, which is not something she's asking for, which that's why she was so pissed. And she was really pissed by the situation. So
Right.
I don't know if she would really, I don't know. I think that it would probably end up being her. She wouldn't cheat on him with Nathan, but she would
Mhm.
probably make the tough decision of choosing her over him. She would choose herself and then just totally leave Lawrence.
Right.
She would close the chapter on that permanently, I think.
I'm really torn over like the whole Nathan dynamic since of course they chose to bring him back. And I did feel kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie, like when they had that little scene and he's like, it really messed me up and blah blah blah. Because at first I was like totally over him, like how dare you ghost on her? I don't care about your problem, you know.
See,
But
I
I
don't care
did
for
feel
his
bad for
character. I don't care for Nathan, and I don't know if
him.
it's because I don't know if that is like is if that's a Houston thing, but like if
Hmm.
he's playing it from Houston, but he talks kind of like with a lazy mouth to me. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, and it gets to me, and I'm just like,
yeah.
open your mouth. What are you saying? Like that to me, he and Condola, maybe he's the father of Condola's baby. Maybe they will hook it up. So let them have a thing. But I'm not rooting for him, and I'm definitely not rooting for Daniel either. I'm not rooting for either of them.
The only reason I needed Daniel was just for the whole block party debacle. Like, why didn't you just ask him? Like that's the only thing I wanted her to do. Like, just ask him for a hookup. This could have alleviated all that stress. But hey, who knows? But I definitely don't want Daniel to come back. I just
Yeah,
wanted his music connection, and
yeah.
that's
But
it.
I need more Kelly. I need more Kelly because she's. I need more Kelly. Kelly's funny. I need more Kelly. I didn't get enough of Kelly. I need more Kelly.
We need more like Kelly's background, like I felt like they dive more into Tiffany to give us something with her or whatever. But we don't know much about Kelly, I feel, just yet. We know like she's an accountant or something. She's
Yeah,
hilarious, but I would like to see something more with Kelly. But she
yeah,
is
I can
pretty
see that.
hilarious. But
Yeah,
besides Kelly, the actress herself, Natasha Rao, like her writing
her
is
writing
insane.
beyond. Because she
Yeah.
wrote the date episode, right? It's the date.
Yes, she had me at hello with that episode, and I found out that she wrote that because that was the most. It was the most mature episode I think I've ever seen between a couple. Anyway,
Right.
because even when I was watching it, I'm like, made me start thinking about some exes. Like if only I'd had some mature conversations, because I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
this is a conversation that I feel like everyone wants.
Yep.
Even if they had to taken it to any level afterwards, I feel like that's like the closure conversation that people want and they deserve, but they rarely get. So I think
Yep.
that's why everyone was so blown away by that episode. But her writing is absolutely insane. So,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, if I had control of Insecure, I would write them out like her and Echo Beats. They would be out in episode one. Like it wouldn't even be. It would be like how they started it with the last season. How she was. It was the foreshadowing. It would be her
Yeah.
on the phone. Like they were gone months ago. Like I don't want any parts of Kendall. Like she agitated me the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was actually one of the people that were like, well, they can be mature and still work together. Big mistake. Like I was trying to give it the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt. I'm like, oh, they're mature, they can do it. No, obviously not.
No, not at all. Not at
Never.
all. I couldn't. Although I kind of wanted to see them kind of get into it, but I guess that's too immature. But I wanted to see them kind of have a little bit of a showdown. But I think they kind of had one when Issa was joking with her, and she was like, when she made the joke about, "Do you got any a man that I can date like you dated
Yeah.
my ex or something?" Like,
Right, right. Let me run
we're
up on
talking
your
about
exes like you run up on mine.
my ex,
See,
right?
I watch
Yeah,
the show too much.
that's what I wanted to see. Something like that. That would have
Right.
been good to see that. Yeah.
Right. So it's going to just be interesting to see what happens. And of course, our girl has been nominated for an Emmy, and the show got 8 nominations. So that was phenomenal. Because, like I said, she's my virtual
Yeah.
mentor. So that was
Mine too. Yeah,
absolutely
I
amazing.
agree. Yeah, I was so proud. I mean, because that's a great success story. Like to me,
Right.
Issa is a great success story. So yeah.
I think the thing about her because she's so personable, and I think the thing about her is people like you and I that watched her from the beginning, like we feel like it's a win for us all. Like it's just exciting whenever she succeeds. So it's just like, wow, like I've been rocking with her from the beginning. So I just think that, for her real fans, it just makes everyone super excited. So
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
so before we round out, I definitely want to congratulate you, number one, for just sticking in there and filming that season 3 with all the craziness that took place. The fact that you persevered is amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's because it was a great team. You know how she talks
Mm-hmm.
about having that tribe. Like
Mm-hmm.
the team that we are a part of for Scales is I mean the energy just Shirley, Jacob, Zane, like all of us connected. We just got that energy. Like we know each other. And just like even after we wrapped, we knew we needed to take at least a day or two of space from each
Mm-hmm.
other just because we had been filming so intensely in the 90-degree weather. But when we come back together, it's like that creative love that just comes together and we're like in sync with each other and it just works. It just works.
And how many days did it take you to film season 3?
When I think about it, I think in total, I think it was, let's see, we were saying 3.5 days, but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we did a solid 4 because
Wow.
we shot first, we started filming May 30th and
Mm-hmm.
we shot all day May 30th but we didn't shoot, we shot scenes for other actors because we had an actress that just, she was moving to LA, so we had to knock out all of her scenes. So
Mm-hmm.
then we knocked that out. And then on July 17th, that Friday evening, we shot some stuff Friday evening, the inside shots, and
Mm-hmm.
then Saturday, all day Saturday, and then all day Sunday. So if you look at it, we shot, oh, actually that's 3.5 days. So it was 3.5 days, not 4, so 3.5. But what helped, just for people that are watching, season 3 is
Mm-hmm.
going to be super amazing. We didn't rush filming anything, but because of COVID, we flipped on like a lot of scenes we ended up shooting outdoors. So
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be a lot of restaurants and a city, character sitting outside because of COVID, but the light, it gave us a natural light
Mm-hmm.
also.
Mm-hmm.
And typically when we have to film inside, what takes a long time are people setting up lights and getting things right. So it would be
Right.
more days needed to film. But
Mm-hmm.
because we were shooting so much, we shot 65% of the show outdoors. It
Wow.
gave and that natural light on our skin, like it's visually, it's gonna be beautiful. Like you guys are like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, these people look good. Like it's gonna look really, really good. And the story's really good. And the shots that we did film indoors, it was necessary. You have to shoot Remy at home, but the good thing
Mm-hmm.
too is it's not a whole bunch of people at Remy's house, so we still had the limited amount of people inside of his house or whatnot. And even for the office stuff, it's still, we shot in a big office space. We made it work. It's gonna have a different feel to it, but I feel like people are gonna really see the growth from season one to season two and season three.
Wow. So obviously with the whole pandemic, and I know we touched on that in the podcast episode, obviously you said how you wanted to make everything safe for everyone. So what was your methodology, for people who didn't listen to the episode, another shameless plug for them to go back and listen to it. So break down like what was your process, to keep everyone safe. And I know you said you had to shorten down your crew and everything. So what was your process, for making everything safe for filming?
The first thing, having working in, the HR background that I have
Mm-hmm.
was, I think in April, I went on the CDC website. I saw the COVID information. I took
Mm-hmm.
that COVID information and created like a two-page COVID-19 reference guide. And
Mm-hmm.
I shared that with the cast and crew, and they had to sort of sign it as an acknowledgement that they were going to adhere to the guidelines, which
Okay.
included temperature checks throughout the day while on set, practice social distancing. All the crew members had to wear masks while filming, and then all of the lunches you were going to get your individual lunch. We used to have pizza and stuff where everybody kind of would be able to touch and get stuff, but because of COVID,
Right.
this season everybody had individual sandwiches and sort of like your individual lunch box for the most part, or a
Mm-hmm.
brown bag lunch. And then when you were at lunch, we did all the lunches were outdoors, so we would
Mm-hmm.
be outside, eating separately and all that type of thing. And I think we really, and then we last season we had about 16 crew members, and we cut that down to about six or seven
Okay.
people working behind the scenes. And I and
Mm-hmm.
I and I keep going back to, I think because we had less, we were able to do more because it cut
Mm-hmm.
out all of the extra conversations that people would have, and we were kind of like, we got a job to do, let's get in, let's knock it out. And because again, we shot 65% of it outdoors, and we typically would film in February and March when it's cooler, but
Mm-hmm.
we filmed this time in July in the dead of summer. So
Mm-hmm.
we were filming in 98-degree weather.
Oof.
So people were like, let's get in, let's make it work, let's shoot, bam, bam, let's get out of here. So
And and the funny thing is, like, obviously I'm from Louisiana and it's hot, but I visited Atlanta 2 years ago in July, and I don't know what it is about Atlanta heat. I feel like it's weird. You go to different areas, like of course Texas heat is freaking hell, but I thought I was gonna pass out in Atlanta as well. I was like, God, I'm like, it is really freaking hot out here.
it was so hot. Like when I can't wait to watch the whole episodes, because I'll know how close to death I was in each scene because of how hot it was. But we had tons of Gatorade and bottled waters around everybody because it was extremely hot. Like it was extremely, extremely, extremely hot.
I can believe it. I can believe it.
Not a
So
breeze in sight.
I can imagine. So before we round out, I want you to give everyone all the information on how they can find you. I know you were trying to reach that goal for viewers and subscribers on YouTube. So I want you to give
We
everyone
did
all
it.
your
We did
information.
over it. We did
Oh,
over it.
yes.
We knocked it out on yesterday, actually. We have
Nice.
over 100,000 views on YouTube. But before I tell you people where they can find us,
Mm-hmm.
aren't you in, let me see, I can't really sing, but what's the song? Tomorrow will come, and girl, I can't wait. It's your anniversary. Isn't it the anniversary?
Yes, so
Happy
this month.
anniversary. Happy
Thank
anniversary,
you, thank you,
Georgia.
thank you. I
Okay.
cannot believe how fast this year went by, but yes, August is officially the anniversary month of the Q Chat. I'm like elated, like I'm super excited. Like I cannot believe how the podcast has grown. It's just like how you mentioned how like you can see the growth in like your first set of shows. When I listened to like the first few episodes, it's like wow. And then I decided like this week, I normally release new episodes every Tuesday, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it back and be nostalgic and go back and re-release some old episodes that I really like. So I was editing the other day and I was listening and I could hear like the huge gaps and the cheesy music I had in the beginning. And it was just like, I just felt really good because I was like, wow, like I've really come a long way. I can give myself a pat on the back,
Yes,
and it's gonna get better.
absolutely.
But it was just funny listening to it because there was a few cringy moments where I was like, let me delete this immediately and edit this out when I re-release it. But just hearing the growth, I was like, okay, like this little idea I had to just do a random podcast.
Yep.
It did take off, and I met some amazing people, of course, like yourself. And I feel like COVID actually helped with some of the people that I met. Like, I just feel like a lot of the people that I met, I wouldn't have met in normal situations. Even the thought to do this follow up live IG series. A few months ago, you couldn't have paid me enough money to do a live on Instagram. Like it just would have never happened. I would have never did any of that because I was like, I don't know how I feel about putting myself out there. But who's not doing lives now?
Right.
Honestly, when D Nice did that first live that like everyone was on that night,
Yes.
it just really catapulted me on so many levels because I was really in like a funk for like the first month when COVID
Hmm.
happened. Like I didn't know what I was gonna do. It had affected my family, and I was just like, I was really in the dumps. I'm not gonna lie. And like that live that he did, like it really lifted my spirits and it really changed my perspective on a lot. And after that, I was like, I got comfortable, and then I started thinking, and I was like, what's a good way for me to encourage people to listen to old episodes? I'm like, I'll reconnect with my guests on live. So that's how the
There
whole
you have it.
conversations from the throne came about. And I'm like, I'm really excited. Like, I'm excited about where this is going to go in the future. I have like some big things that I've worked on that I probably will wait until next week to mention. But my creative juices have gotten insane, and I scratched off one major thing off my bucket list. But I think I'm gonna wait until next week to talk about it. But like, I'm excited. I'm so
Oh, I
happy
can't wait. I
that
can't
you
wait.
mentioned it. Like I said, I'm just super excited. I definitely want to do like a little celebration. I'm thinking about doing like a little Zoom party, which I'll definitely mention it to
Yes.
you. Because
I'm gonna be
because
here.
obviously with
Get
COVID
clear.
has changed, I definitely would have had something different. But I feel like once again, it's helped because I can have a virtual party and I can have friends from Atlanta, Texas, California, whoever wants to join us. So I definitely am gonna work on having like a little Zoom Q chat party at the end of August. I think the very first episode I released, I think we recorded it on August 21st. So that I went to check last week. So we recorded it on August 21st. It was really cheesy. I actually deleted it. I kind of wish I hadn't, but I deleted it. But I wasn't gonna publish it. I don't publish it anyway because it was but I'm still gonna follow that date and have like a little celebration on either August the 21st or the 22nd. So everyone that's on is invited. I'm gonna make something official. I want to think of something cute. So it's like a real fun Zoom experience, the virtual party. But I am gonna go all out and celebrate the key chat. I'm getting some photos done. As everyone knows, my infamous photo with the big purple tutu and the crown and all that stuff. But I'm actually going to do like a cute little photo shoot with the same photographer. We will be social distancing because we did talk about it. I'm super paranoid of the Rona. We talked about how we're going to do it. Like she's not even going to have to get close to me, but I'm going to get some cute anniversary pics for the Q chat, and the pictures will be ready by like the 21st. So I can't wait to show them. It's gonna be really cute. But like I
It's
said,
gonna be
I'm
awesome.
excited just for the Q chat, the Go Queen brand in general, because that's what I decided to do the Q chat because I wanted people to know like the story behind their empowerment teas. And it really did take off. It was bumpy at first because I mean it's always a learning process, you know. So, but now it's to the point where, like I tell people, I have so many episodes that because I pre-tape a lot, you know, it's the exact opposite in the past. So I was scrambling, trying to find people, or you know, trying to think
Right.
of things. It's the exact opposite, and I'm like, I really love it. Like I love the little following I have, and I just met some really amazing people, and I definitely feel like I've gotten that message out there to go love yourself and to follow your dreams. That's why I love talking to creatives like yourself too, because it's more than just telling people to love themselves. It's also saying, hey, whatever dream you have, if it's to do that web series, if it's to do the podcast, whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. Like there's nothing stopping you, but maybe the person looking in the mirror or whatever reservations or fears you have. So I'm really big on that. You know, like I've always wanted to just have my own career actually for the longest, but I always felt like I couldn't do it. So, you know, I just love to inspire people. So I'm glad you mentioned that. But like I am really excited about the Key Chat. I just still can't believe it's been a year. Like time is just like just
Oh
completely
yeah,
gone by.
it's
And
super
as
fast.
everyone noticed, like the little lighting, like I redid my office too because I wanted to get really, you know, eclectic in my creative space. So that's why you see like the blue lighting and everything and the background. I just wanted to really, I guess, rev up because I really want to like follow a lot of things, you know, that I've been wanting to do. And I am determined. I am going to meet Issa Rae one day. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'm determined to meet that woman before
It's
COVID takes us all away, or before the
it's
aliens come,
it's
you
gonna
know,
happen. It's
you
gonna
know,
happen. I
before
told you
that,
it's gonna
yeah,
happen.
before that plot twist, you know, when it's
Yeah.
the aliens next, you know, but
Right.
I do want to meet my virtual mentor some type of way, you know, because I love Issa Rae, and you know, like she indirectly inspires me. And I don't know if you listen to like, there's a podcast actually, I can't think of their names, but there's a podcast out there every single episode, and it's with these two women, and they're like really hilarious, and they just break down the show. But anything Issa, you know, I just love it. I'll have to see that information, but you know, like I said, I am really excited about the Key Chat, and the most exciting thing is just the people that I've met. I would say out of everything, and when I get messages like the one I shared with you after an episode, when people inbox me like, you know, I really like that episode, or are just saying how it inspired them, or I made them think about something. It's like,
That was
wow.
such a nice message. That made my entire day when you sent
Mm-hmm.
that. That made my entire day. That
And
was so
I
nice.
love that. Like, it really is a good feeling, you know, because it just makes you realize, like, you know, people, number one, are listening and they are receiving the message, you know. So, and that's why I don't take the episodes lightly. I put a lot of thought into them, actually. And one of my secrets, I don't normally write preset questions, is what I tell people. Like, certain people, like maybe like for yourself or other people, I'll write particular notes because obviously I'll research. But I like the conversation to be extremely natural. I just feel like it's something that you pick up on. So I don't like a robotic, so tell me about blah, blah, blah. And you tell me, and then we go back and forth. And it's just like a ping pong match. I like things to be extremely natural because it really is it's the cute chat, you know, like we're
Right.
just having a chat. And I like it to be like if someone listens, you know, it's two friends talking. You know, sometimes you may go to a restaurant. You can overhear, well, of course, before COVID, you hear two people talking, and sometimes they'll say something funny or something engaging. I just like it to be like that. That is really a conversation that anyone can join in on. So, like I said, I'm very proud of the Key Chat. It's just been like my little baby, and I'm super happy where it's going. And I'm celebrating the whole month. You know, COVID had already wiped out my birthday in April. It wiped out the anniversary of Go Queen because I was in March, right when COVID happened. So the Q Chat is definitely getting its month. And I'm
Perfect.
definitely celebrating Q Chat this entire month. I do have some things lined up. I want to give people some freebies, stuff like that. So I'm super excited. Like I said, meeting people like you just makes what I do just makes me even more happier.
Well, I am so excited and can't wait to see. I can't wait to tune in and you're like interviewing Issa. on here. So I'll be looking forward to that because I'm
We're
putting
gonna
that
meet
out.
Issa
I'm
together.
putting that out there. It's
Yeah,
gonna
we're putting
happen.
that in the atmosphere. We're both gonna meet Issa because she's definitely our inspiration. I definitely need to get a shirt with her next, because I got my poster, my I'm Rooting for Everybody Black poster. Which when I decided to redo my office, that was like one of the first things I was searching for on Amazon. Like I need something with Issa in it. Which I need to post a video. Like I posted a video in my story, but I have this Muhammad Ali canvas. I have a Dorothy Dandridge canvas too, a little small one, and it says, I just can't play a slave," which I love Dorothy Dandridge too. But so I just wanted the office to just be like people that I really love that inspired me. So I had to have some Issa in here in some way, shape, or fashion, and I felt like that was the best portion of her I could put in here was I'm Rooting for Everybody Black. Because first when I first saw it, number one, I thought it was hilarious that she said that. But
Right. So candidly, even though truthfully, she was being
right. Especially when she threw in, she's like, I am, like she didn't even
yeah,
back down, So that's the
yeah,
part that I think I love the most. So I have to throw that in there. And I feel the same way. Of course, I love everybody, but, everything's for the culture. So that just meant a lot to me. But before this logs us off, I want you to tell everyone where they can find all your information, how they can find you on YouTube, Instagram, how they can tune into Revenue TV and watch Scales next season, everything. Tell them everything about how they can
sure.
find you.
You can follow me. You can follow me personally at I am Patrick Ladonis, how we're chatting right now.
I'm
You
going
can
to see if I
also
can pin it.
you can follow the show Scales the Web on IG, and you can find us on YouTube too. Just type up Scales the Web series, and you'll see seasons 1 and 2. And then you can, if you want to check out some other dope content along with Scales, you can go to reverytv.com, and it's sort of like a Netflix thing, but they have over 400 new short form movies and TV shows and whatnot. And that's where you'll be able to catch us at for season 3 and season 4 reverytv.com. But right now, you can check us out on YouTube, Scales the Web Series.
And I definitely suggest you guys watch it. I was invested in Remy's life in like the first when he went on the tape, like in the first episode, and I already was watching it like, okay, I don't like this particular guy with him or whatever. I was really invested, and plus, I love the short form web series idea. I just think it's so clever. I don't know who initially thought of that. Like, I don't know. I don't. I'm assuming. I don't think Issa was the first one to do it. I'm not
Well,
sure
she's the
because
one that I saw do it, and I loved it.
right, because I know there's a lot of other little shows I've come across with that same format, and I just think it's so clever, and it just makes so much sense because I feel like it opens the door for more creatives to get that opportunity, to put those series out there and to put their ideas, on film. I just think it's such a clever idea. I've definitely had a few light bulb moments, like I said, the misadventure of Awkward Black Girl. It just always inspired me in general. So I have a special love for those web series,
Yeah.
So I just think it was such a clever idea in general. And Scales, and I'm saying that I'm not, yeah, I'm biased, but honestly, it is a very
Well,
good series. I
thank
definitely
you.
suggest people to watch it. And once again, it's the short form, so you can throw it on and catch a season. You can binge a season like in a fair amount of time, and you can
Less
catch
than an
up on the
hour.
series.
Less than an hour. Less than
Right.
an hour. Yep.
Because I watched like the first two like in one evening. So I definitely suggest people to just go ahead and just go on YouTube and catch the Scales web series. And I promise you, you guys will enjoy it.
They'll love the music.
Yes. You did have good music in there too. So there's less than 2 minutes. Is there anything else you want to tell the crowd before we end everything?
I just want to tell everybody, continue to stay safe. Make sure they are registered to vote, that they get out and vote, whether it's mail-in or if, depending on your area, if you can register early or whatnot, and just take care of themselves. And thank you for having me again. Happy anniversary. And Scales the Web Series on YouTube and reverytv.com. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you again, Patrick. I really appreciate it. And I'll definitely be keeping you updated because, like I said, that's an announcement for everybody. I definitely want to do the virtual party to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the Q Chat. And I'll definitely be getting with everybody, seeing a time that works. I want to do something really fun because I am really excited. And once again, same thing. Be safe. And if you guys are not registered to vote, I'm sorry, but this is my soapbox moment. Please vote. You know, like this is extremely important. We need to get out of this prison that we're in ASAP. And we need to, the only way it's going to happen is we get in the polls, like seriously.
Right.
So everyone, please be safe. Thank you guys for tuning in. I have my regular viewers, and it just really makes me happy. I see some new ones too. Thank you guys so much. And thank you again, Patrick. Be safe,
Thank you. You
everyone.
too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye bye.